Welcome, directors. Let's get right into this highly classified briefing explainer on SCP-3108. I'll be your presenter today. Look, this case is the perfect example of exactly why we at the Foundation can absolutely never underestimate so-called joke anomalies. You know the ones. We see these things that look like harmless pranks on the surface, right? But as you're going to see today, subjective humor can literally devolve into objective horror in the blink of an eye. So here is our agenda for today. We're going to run through containment and operational security, the object's anomalous transformative mechanics, recovery and point of origin, the inanimate material testing logs, those forbidden humanoid testing results, and finally, the interrogation and threat summary. Alright, let's dive right into Section 1, Containment and Operational Security. Obviously, we're dealing with something categorized as safe, but trust me, it is incredibly volatile. Because of that volatility, our firing protocols are intensely restrictive. Whenever testing gets the green light from both Dr. Johnson and Dr. Dietz, this object is to be handled exclusively by Site-64 security staff, period. Researchers? D-Class? They are strictly forbidden from operating this weapon because the safety and security risks are just too immediate. We actually require a tandem operation here. One officer holds and fires, while a second officer strictly observes to prevent any accidents or, intentional foul play. And since the accuracy of this thing perfectly mirrors its normal commercial counterpart, we enforce a strict maximum distance of 1 meter to the target. No exceptions. Moving on to Section 2. Anomalous transformative mechanics, or how this thing completely bypasses conventional physics. Okay, to really understand why these draconian protocols are absolutely necessary, we have to look at the physical object itself. SCP-3108 is basically a modified Nerf brand dart gun. It's got this surprisingly heavy steel outer shell with these intricate bronze inlays. Now, the anomalous properties only actually trigger when it fires its paired foam dart, which we designate SCP-3108-1. Take a look at the dart. It's got OP Please Nerf inscribed on it in red ink. For those not up on their internet slang, that's just a common gaming phrase asking developers to make something powerful a bit weaker. Oh, and if you're thinking about taking it apart, don't even try. Disassembly is completely impossible. It has this intense self-preservation effect. Actually, when Security Officer Silva tried to dismantle it with his bare hands, his hands were instantaneously replaced with a pair of empty rubber gloves. Yeah. Any tools you try to use on it, they just transform into broken or fake knockoffs. So here's the absolute crucial point. This subjective reality alteration completely ignores conventional physics. When that foam dart strikes a target, that target is instantaneously altered to be quote-unquote worse or inferior. But inferior according to who, right? Well, it's based entirely on the subjective opinion of whoever is holding the gun. It doesn't follow any objective value scale at all. And the craziest part, it completely ignores the law of conservation of mass. We're talking objects suddenly gaining or losing massive amounts of physical weight and volume the exact second they transform. Next up, Section 3, Recovery and Point of Origin. Let's talk about the infamous birthday incident. Let's look at exactly how this reality-bending anomaly ended up in Foundation custody. The actual discovery happened during a 10-year-old's birthday party over in Oregon. Just the kid playing around who ended up firing the weapon at a solid concrete wall. And, exactly in line with the object's core mechanic, it transmuted that structurally sound concrete right into a pile of loosely stacked stones. Naturally, the wall collapsed on the spot, injuring 3 civilians. The Foundation stepped in right after a civil lawsuit was filed against the home's contractor. Our field agents got on site, ran the numbers, and quickly traced that localized reality shift straight back to the toy gun. So, post-incident, our investigation pointed directly to the creator, a 19-year-old named Nathan Pierce, who actually happens to be the older brother of the birthday boy. Pierce is a known person of interest for us, POI 6897, operating under the incredibly subtle alias Kektagon. He's part of Gamers Against Weed. Now, for those familiar with GIW, you know they are totally notorious for using anomalous abilities to churn out these internet culture-inspired objects, almost always with zero regard for the real-world physical consequences. Alright, let's shift gears to Section 4, Inanimate Material Testing Logs, where we really see the humorous degradation at play. What's fascinating about these initial inanimate testing logs is how they really highlight the bizarre, almost troll-like logic of this nerfing effect. For example, our researchers set up a crisp US dollar bill and fired the weapon at it. The result? A single 25-cent quarter. But it gets weirder, because subsequent tests on dollar bills gave us completely inconsistent results. We got dimes, pennies, random foreign currency, and even, literally, fake colorful bills from a Monopoly board game. There is absolutely no exact mathematical formula happening here. The weapon just degrades the target based on this really abstract personal concept of lowered value. And this next test brilliantly illustrates just how subjective that degradation really is. We took a VHS tape of the highly acclaimed 1971 film Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and shot it. Instantly, it transformed into a DVD of the 2005 remake. Now, this perfectly reflects the specific cultural opinions of the security officer holding the weapon at that exact moment. It essentially proves that the anomaly directly interfaces with the wielder's conscious or even subconscious preferences. But honestly, maybe the most revealing of these early tests involves something as simple as a can of Coca-Cola. The anomaly transformed it straight into a can of Pepsi. The security officer observing the test, Mike, actually complained out loud about seeing that specific result. So, Dr. Dietz just handed Mike the gun and told him to fire the dart right at the Pepsi can. And because Mike personally viewed Pepsi as vastly inferior to Coke, the can immediately reverted right back into Coca-Cola. It's like a reality-bending focus group inside a toy gun. But directors, things take a very dark turn in Section 5, Forbidden Humanoid Testing Results. We are dealing with a severe biohazard here. I really have to emphasize this next point. The whimsical, prank-like nature of this anomaly absolutely vanishes the second it's applied to living biological specimens. We started initial testing with animals, fired it at a rat, and it turned into an ant. Simple enough. Then we shot a female golden retriever. Instantly, it was reconstructed into a yellow American short-hair cat. But remember how I mentioned earlier that it completely ignores the law of mass conservation? Well, this resulting cat weighed a massive 15.4 kilograms. That is more than double the size of a normal cat. And bizarrely enough, it kept acting exactly like a golden retriever. Following this deeply unsettling result, Command made the call to escalate testing to human D-class subjects. To figure out the absolute limits of the danger SCP-3108 could pose to a human being, Security Officer Gardner was given a direct order. He was to fire the weapon repeatedly at D-Class Subject 3578. Directors, the weapon was successfully fired at this single human target exactly 46 times. The catastrophic biological degradation that followed genuinely pushed the boundaries of body horror. For some context, an earlier test on D-4281 actually devolved a 28-year-old male into a living, breathing Neanderthal. But those 46 shots on D-3578, that escalated things to a completely different level. The early shots reverted this 24-year-old man into an Australopithecus, then down to a gibbon, and eventually into a pygmy three-toed sloth. During the mid-stages of the test, on 9 separate occasions, the subject didn't even change species. He was just inflicted with visible maiming, agonizing diseases, or severe physical disabilities. Ultimately, the test had to be completely halted because D-3578 had been reduced to a literal earthworm, so small that the officer couldn't even hit it with the foam dart anymore. Immediately following this, the ethics committee stepped in and permanently forbade all future humanoid testing. This brings us to our final section, Section 6, Interrogation and Threat Summary, where we look at the creator's true intent. So following his apprehension at a local internet cafe in LA, Dr. Dietz sat down to interrogate Nathan Pierce. Now, Pierce maintained the whole time that the object was just a joke, completely lacking any sort of grand malicious purpose. He claimed he literally just thought of it while smoking, telling us that the concept of a Nerf gun that makes things shitty was, in his words, hilarious. He swore it was originally intended for completely harmless pranks, stuff like turning a bad video game sequel into an even worse version, or zapping a neighbor's giant SUV into a tiny little smart car. Yet, when Dr. Dietz slid the files across the table and confronted this self-proclaimed pacifist with the horrific reality of our humanoid testing logs, Pierce's entire demeanor just broke. He was utterly disgusted by our clinical systematic application of his creation. He actually accused the Foundation of turning his joke into a torture device, screaming at our personnel that he was not a murderer. And that, directors, leaves us with a stark ethical reality to consider at the end of this explainer. Yes, it perfectly highlights the immense operational hazard of anomalous objects, no matter what the creator originally intended, but it also forces us to ask a very uncomfortable question. When a mundane juvenile prank is scientifically weaponized to inflict unfathomable, compounding body horror, who is truly responsible for the resulting atrocity? The anomalous artist who built the gun in a haze of internet humor, or the Foundation who loaded the dart, aimed at a living human being, and systematically pulled the trigger 46 times? Thank you for your time today, directors. This concludes our briefing. This concludes today's briefing. If you wish to maintain your current clearance level and ensure continued access to the Versarian database, a subscription to this channel is mandatory. Secure your connection by leaving a like on this file, and log your requests in the comments section below to dictate which anomaly we unseal next. Stay vigilant and expect your next set of logs every day. Secure, contain, protect.